Thank you for anybody who's commented or emailed me that the videos are helpful. So that's really great. It helps keep me motivated. So for this video, I am going to talk about making money as a writer. Now, first and foremost, don't expect to learn anything like where you're going to become a millionaire because that's not realistic. And a lot of this is based on my experiences when it comes to making money or money that I have made as a screenwriter and just a writer in general. But I'm going to focus more on the screenwriting aspect of it. So, this is a pretty straightforward step by step thing, and you can Google a lot of this information, but it's good to kind of have it all in one place. So, the first thing, and we're going to take this approach as if like you're a completely new writer, you've never written anything before, and you're just literally starting out. So, the first thing you're a screenwriter is you need to write writing samples. Those are 5 to 10 page scripts, but they're all just samples that you can prepare to send out to potential people that may want to hire you to screenwrite. Now, this is very helpful, especially if you're starting out, because I think the great thing about being a screenwriter as compared to other creative people like photographers, videographers, you don't really need a website. Um, a lot of photographers, they've in the past they've used like social media to showcase their work. With screenwriters, if you have a writing sample and somebody really likes that writing sample, and usually that's what they request, you can get hired even if you have like zero experience. It's going to be really up to you at that point to deliver on your end. But very rarely has anybody ever been like, what's your social media, what's your website? It's 99% of the time, send me a writing sample. Some places, some people will ask you to send in like short films that may have been produced or your IMDb. In my personal opinion, that can be helpful, but it doesn't. Also, I've never actually seen a situation where that's been like outright helpful. And IMDb in kind of like modern today isn't really used as a metric for people wanting to hire you anymore like it used to be. Obviously, some people still do that, but ultimately, at the end of the day, if you are a screenwriter, you need to get writing samples. Now, as far as these writing samples, this is kind of the tricky part, and you have to figure this out for yourself. Is do you want writing samples that are directly catered to your style and your how you want to be seen and perceived as a writer, or you can write writing samples that kind of fit with sort of the general standards of what people usually look for in a screenwriter. That means you're going to probably write stuff that's more in line with current trends. And so you kind of have to like figure out like where you want to land on that. You also want to figure out genre. You can have 3 writing samples, but if you have a writing sample that's a comedy, a crime, and a fantasy, that can probably hurt you more than help you. It's good to kind of try to stick to one genre and maybe something outside of that. So I always recommend getting 3 to 4 writing samples. Make if you have 4 writing samples, make 3 of them one genre, and then the fourth one some outside genre or something more out of your comfort zone. The other thing is to help you on top of those writing samples is to also network. Networking is the bane of my existence. I fucking hate it, and but I've had to do it myself in order to meet other directors, producers, other writers, actors, in order to get some of my work done. I've had 6 short films. I think 4 of them I've done myself, and then 2 of them were done by another director, and 3 of them done by another director actually. Um, and those have been through networking, and because of that, that has actually helped me build a more complete portfolio. Because it's one thing to have writing samples, that's really great, but it's also another thing to just send a short film to somebody and be like, this is something I wrote, watch this. And that's helpful because it shows that you can write something that can translate onto the screen. So networking, self promotion, self producing, I'll kind of combine all of those things into one. You can utilize social media, that is helpful as a writer, um, but I haven't seen it, and I myself haven't done it in a way that's been super successful. So I can't really I can't really help you in that area, but give it a shot. Uh, Once you kind of have those things going, and a lot of these things you can kind of get done relatively quick within the first 6 months if you really go after it. Is freelance listings, and basically this is a area on the internet where you can find people offering jobs or looking to hire screenwriters for various gigs. There are certain websites. I think like one of the first ones I used was called Freelancer, and I actually got some of my first like cold gigs from there. Like I didn't really have like a really solid portfolio, but I had some writing samples that got me jobs. The pay, it all ranges from super cheap to people paying you pretty well. Craigslist, still every now and then Craigslist you can find some jobs, but it's not really the best place to go. I'll just put it that way. You can get jobs through networking. You know, this is kind of how networking can like cross over into this aspect. You meet producers, actors. Believe it or not, some of those people will hire you if they really like you and they've liked some of the work you've done and you've connected really well. They'll be down to pay you to write a script for them, whether it's a short film or a feature. And there's also like private outlets, and that's usually kind of through networking, but I usually equate that to just pure pure dumb luck. I've gotten jobs just off of dumb luck, just being at the right place at the right time. So with some of those freelancing listings on some websites, you do have to build a profile, and so that does take a lot of work, and it can be difficult because if you don't, since you're starting out, since you don't necessarily have like a portfolio or a work history, your profile might be kind of bare. So that might be something you might need to wait on, but depending how you set up your profile, you can still set something up that's really enticing for people to want to take interest in you, or if you apply or bid for a gig, they might basically be impressed enough with how you present yourself that they'll at least talk to you and maybe consider hiring you. Um, Once this is all kind of like, again, you're in the beginning stage, this is like the first 6 months to year and a half. But once you kind of get things rolling and you kind of build a network, you've built some portfolio, you can try to get a manager, an agent, or an entertainment lawyer. Consistent, helpful people are entertainment lawyers, but those are hard to get unless you're doing like really significant jobs where you're getting paid like a really good amount of money. So I would maybe try to network and meet some entertainment lawyers so that down the line, if you hit that spot where you're getting a contract for $30,000 to write a script, you can, you know, you can tap that entertainment lawyer that you've networked with. Agents and managers, it's really like you're really rolling the dice. I have friends that have gone through so many managers. I've talked to people who've wanted to manage me or that I have reached out to, and after speaking with them, it just seems like I'm going to end up doing a lot of the work anyways, and they're just going to kind of take a cut. An agent can be helpful if you're at their top priority. If you're not, like, you're going to end up doing a lot of the work anyways, and they're going to take their cut. So, you know, getting a manager, an agent, or an entertainment lawyer, or all three, can be helpful if you're in the right position, if you've progressed at a certain level, and to where even if when they take their cut, you're still earning a good amount of money. That's probably the most important thing because everybody knows agents, managers, and they take a fee every time you book a job. The other one, which is sort of an outlier, and this is really good if you're very new, you've written a script, and you feel very strongly about it, is you can enter writing contests. Um, Writing contests have helped a lot of people get noticed, get managers. Um, Some writing contests. give out cash prizes, or they help you make your short film or feature film into a full-on production. A lot of people say writing contests are a waste of time and scams, and there is some truth to that. And I say scam in the sense that, it doesn't, you don't get anything out of it, but I would suggest just doing your research and really entering in a writing contest when you feel, when you're not too worried about the result. Like whether you get in, you win the contest, or whatever. Just do it when you feel whatever result you get, you can live with. Don't bank all of your career on entering a writing contest, but those are good options, good avenues to take to make money, because if you win, you can get a cash prize. Now, the other way you can make money, and this goes back to kind of networking thing, but this really depends on the type of person you are, is you can join writing groups or communities, writing communities, because in those places, a lot of those people can refer you to, in a lot of those meetups and communities, there's always maybe a couple people in there that have some sort of like steady career as a writer. And if you network well with them and you have like a genuine, like respectful relationship with them, those people can give you leads to jobs. So meetups and writing communities are another really good way to do that. If you don't live in a place that has those, there's a lot of online meetups and communities that you can join. The only caveat to that is some of them do charge, which I think is corny. Because it's just like, okay, like what's the whole point of this anyways? There are free ones though, but in my opinion, any meetup or writing community that charges you to be part of it, and when I say charge, it's like there's a fine line. Like if they're like, hey, $5 a month or whatever, that's fine. But if they are charging you like a decent amount, I would just avoid it. Always have it watered down to this: oh, you write a script, you send it to so and so, this person sees it, and you sell it. And that can happen. But a lot of that doesn't really happen before all of these other things have happened. Any writer that I know that's sold a script, when I've gotten close to selling scripts, a lot of it has come out of doing all of these things, like getting the writing samples, getting a portfolio, networking, just building relationships, like genuine and authentic relationships. A lot of that work comes first before you can really start making money in this business. And when I also say making money, like I've been paid pretty decently to write scripts for producers and actors and other people. And you don't have to set this mentality of, as a screenwriter, I need to get paid 50, 100 million of dollars to write a script. Like you can make some extra decent cash just getting paid $2,000 to write a script, $4,000, $500 to write a short film. Like all of that is, in my opinion, like great money, because at the end of the day, 99% of us as writers are pretty much at the bottom of the barrel. And so it's just, kind of be thankful for anybody who's willing to pay you, because getting people to even want to pay you is hard enough as it is. So, oh, and one last thing, another way is, and it just popped in my head, is enter into fellowships, and that kind of falls in line with the contests, writing competitions. You can enter into like a fellowship competition, because if they like your work, you get accepted, and you progress really far in that. Those are the best ways to get into a writer's room, to get a job on a TV show, and just really like accelerate your career. So that's another one. I don't know how I overlooked that one, but that's it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. Thanks to everybody that comments and emails. And yeah, my outros aren't really that great, so that's probably, you just have to accept that. Bye.